Dear friends, warm welcome to all of you. And it's so wonderful to connect with all of you again. So dear friends, today we are going to talk about really an interesting topic, an essential topic that is very, very important for everyone on the planet Earth. Can you guess the topic, what the topic is? I know that it's already announced, you know it. So it's called doing nothing. Doing nothing and just doing nothing. Nothing to do. So that's the topic for us today. So dear friends, I will be showing you certain slides to you. So this is the topic for us, Wu Wei, doing nothing. Doing nothing. These are the beautiful words that I always like these words. And because somewhere these words convey a very deep message to the world. And for everyone, we can personally, individually can resonate with it. And Wu Wei is a Chinese word from the ancient times in China. And the great masters like Lao Tzu, Chuang Tzu were there at that time. And they actually, Lao Tzu was talking about this. It's called doing nothing. He used to speak in a language which is paradoxical, like doing without doing, something like that. So Wu Wei in Chinese language, Wu means negation, not, non, none, something like that. Wu means negation. Wei means it's action, doing, force. So Wu Wei is non-force, non-forcing, non-acting, non-doing, anything which you are doing without doing, anything without your effort, you are putting your effort, effortless effort. That's what is this word Wu Wei conveys to us. So dear friends, today I invited a very wonderful master that you all must know. Quantum Life University is a beautiful, contribution to the world globe. Dr. Lakshmi behind me is the greatest strength that I always feel that she is the force behind everything. She is the force which is really a creative force. But we also need, must be a few who can really bring everything into manifestation. If I consider Dr. Lakshmi as the vision, the Shakti, which is in the background, and where I announce this vision to everyone. But there are two important masters in Quantum Life University, who is my very dear friends to me, to us, Lakshmi and myself. We met them in 1992, the year 1992. And, there's so much that was done, the work that is done, accomplished, without working. I can share so many things. They are none other than Rajsekhar, who is the founding trustee, the board member of Quantum Life University, and Sridevi. She is also such wonderful master. And we all know even though many have not met Sridevi, only they received the emails, they might have called to her to get the information, but she is such a manifesting force. So, dear friends, the QLU Sangha must know, the world must know these two masters, and Rajsekhar and Sridevi. So, from 1992, our friendship grew, and we were growing together. And what happened 2000, the year 2000, there was one institute that we started primarily to impart this wisdom of reincarnation and law of karma, and also meditation, to teach meditation. So that time, 2000, year 2000, there only Lakshmi and myself, along with Rajsekhar and Sridevi, only 4 of us. And from 2000 to 2010, till that time, only 4 people could reach out to the whole globe, almost 120 countries. Dr. Lakshmi and myself personally have set our foot in every country, around 122, more than that, many countries we visited 10 times to 20 times. So our goal is to give this wisdom, offer this wisdom, share our experiences. 2 people in the background, they were doing silently the work which can only be accomplished by at least 200 people. At that time, till 2010, there's only 2 people. You know how many mails we used to get? Thousands were pouring down the mails. And Sridevi madam was answering each and every mail. How many calls we used to get per day? It was too many calls. She used to take all the calls. And Rajsekhar and Sridevi have done such an amazing work. From 2011, the QLU campus physically started manifesting. The first phase work began, the pyramid was constructed, and then the dorm structures and the residential facilities. That point of time, there are many Sangha members who joined. And now the Sangha is growing bigger. But I must tell you, everything begins in a humble way, in almost like a very simple way. And Rajsekhar, welcome you. Please share about how you came in contact with meditation and how you started this spiritual journey, and share your experiences so that all the masters here, or friends who are viewing this program, will be benefited from this sharing.
Okay, welcome friends to this program, and I hope I'm audible to everybody and it's clear. Yes. So it's an amazing journey, and I met Dr. Newton and Dr. Lakshmi, Sridevi and myself. We met both of them in the year 1992. So it's been like 28 years now. And at that time, everything happens in life through synchronicities, and this is something that I began to believe more and more, particularly after meeting this wonderful couple. Till then, I could say, almost like a rationalist, not much into spirituality at all, never heard much about meditation, let alone practice it. And after meeting them, and Dr. Newton explained about meditation, about vegetarianism and everything, and all the work that he had plans of doing, it became very clear to me that there is some aspect of life that I'm missing, that I'm just looking at one certain narrow aspect of life, but there's more to life than what I was living at that point of time. It became clear to both of us, to Sridevi and myself. And here I would like to recognize that Sridevi was the one who recognized this even before me. And then she started taking a lot of interest, and I automatically resonated with that interest, and I also began to understand this deep spiritual angle that there is to life, that life is not just a material, physical experience, but it's a very deeply spiritual experience. And material aspect of life is just one of the parts of life. That's my first understanding that I got. And that is when I got introduced to meditation. I began to meditate. And the next most important aspect of my transformation began to happen because of the amazing books that Dr. Newton would recommend to me every time. I would ask him, after I finished one book, he would say, okay, now take this book, and then that one. So I can say that my evolution unfolded through the meditation and also through the books that I read, and where I would have discussions with him about the doubts that I had while reading these books, and that gave me much deeper understanding. So as they say that for the complete life and spiritual evolution, we need three essential things, which Dr. Newton's guru, Brahmashri Patriji, has always been saying. We need dhyana, we need swadhyaya, and we need the sajjan sangatya. So dhyana is, of course, the meditation, which we all know about. The second is swadhyaya, which is reading good books. Books, when I say good books, it is books by great spiritual masters, masters who understood life, self-realized souls, God-realized souls. Only books by those people should be read. And that's the second part. And then the third one is, of course, the interactions that we have with like-minded people. And of course, like-minded and everyone, the similarity between all should be that we should be in search of the truth. That's why we say Satjan. So Satjan Sangatya means those who are seeking the truth. And when you are in the company of those who are seeking the truth, then you automatically become a greater seeker of truth, and it helps in your own evolution and your search for truth. So this is the thing. And incidentally, the first book that Dr. Newton had recommended to me was also this book called A Search for Truth by Ruth Montgomery, an amazing book about a Western journalist, a US journalist, a skeptic who completely was totally skeptical about spiritual aspects and about spirituality, but how her life changed through many synchronicities and metaphysical experiences. So that was the first book that I read, and definitely it it shows the underlying need that I had to search for the real truth. And that began to came up. And then, of course, we started this amazing work of beginning to teach meditation. Dr. Newton and Dr. Lakshmi would go around teaching meditation. We would go door to door, house to house, teaching meditation. We didn't have any formal setup, a place where people could come, no center, but like the center was just the four of us going around place to place and then teaching meditation. And then, of course, supporting all the travels of both of them to help to teach meditation, to take past life regression classes, to spread vegetarianism and the whole concepts of spiritual science in different parts of the world. So that's how this wonderful journey started. And in 2000, as Dr. Newton has already said, the culmination of this was the founding of the Life Research Academy, which started doing giving past life regression sessions to people who came to the center. And now also we were doing 2-day workshops of different kinds all over the country and in different parts of the world. So that is how this amazing journey began. And after that, the year 2008, we had this new understanding, and Dr. Newton felt that we need to have a university, a spiritual university. And that is when the idea of Life University, at that time it was called Life University, and later it became Quantum Life University. And that idea was beginning to be put into place. And the land was acquired for this Quantum Life University, and that itself is a great, amazing a series of amazing synchronicities which led to the acquisition of the land. And then from the year 2010 onwards, we started work actually on the land at Quantum Life University. And now it has come to this stage where it's reaching out to thousands of people, in fact, hundreds of thousands of people all over the world. And so it has been a really amazing journey. Thank you, Dr. Newton. Thank you, Dr. Lakshmi, for this, for helping me to be a part of this amazing vision that you have for this whole world.
It's wonderful to hear again about all the journey that we have traveled together all these years, 28 years that we know each other. It's a really very deep connection across lifetimes, I feel, Rajsekhar. And so you mentioned about the books and meditation practice, which really has transformed you because you started knowing more about yourself. And can you also speak a little bit about the processes that in Quantum Life University that we do, like trainings, which help you also? What trainings really molded, shaped you? And
so also about the 2-day workshop, the processes that we do at initially at Life University also, and then later on in Quantum Life University, the different kinds of workshops. So our first thing was past life regression, because Dr. Newton's first personal experiences and personal experiments, so to speak, were in the field of past life regression. And very soon, after the year 2000 itself, he became nationally and internationally famous, both of them, as past life regression therapists, as pioneers in the field of past life regression. Even at a very young age, they were considered globally as the pioneers in among the top people in past life regression. And so initially a lot of work was done around that, and all our workshops were past life regression and spiritual science. That was the first ever 2-day workshop that we launched. And after that, there was a need to do many other processes because people came up with issues or problems, or rather a need to find answers in different aspects of their life. So another area is a very common area, and where everyone has some kind of issues or the other, or they need some kind of answers or the other, and that is in the area of relationships. So we started this workshop called Radiant Relationships as a 2-day workshop to help people to understand what is relationships and what relationships are, and how do we learn from relationships, and how do we use relationships as a tool for your own personal and spiritual growth. Then we understood the need among people that many of them, particularly those on the spiritual path, were not able to really find this balance between the material aspect and spiritual aspect of life. So it used to happen that people who were going more deep into spirituality, somehow they were not able to find the material needs or fulfill sometimes the money aspect was a big issue in their life. So we came up with this workshop called Money and Spirituality, which is, it helps people to understand and practice the law of attraction and prosperity consciousness from the total holistic understanding point of view. And there were many amazing processes in this workshop which help people to really come out of this lack consciousness or poverty consciousness and really embrace or awaken the prosperity consciousness which is there within them. Then we had another one called Consciousness Heals, which was totally about the ability of every person to heal. I like this wonderful statement that Dr. Newton gives all the time, that within each one of us there is an inner doctor. And what we do is we awaken that inner doctor, and that helps you to heal yourself physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. And all healing can happen at all levels through this connection with your own consciousness and awakening your own inner doctor. So that workshop was called Consciousness Heals. And then we had a workshop on sacred breath, which helps connect different processes, which we call as intuitive breathing processes, intuitive breathing techniques. And using this, how to awaken and how to do self-healing and take you to a deeper level of understanding, sometimes even connect to past lives, gain valuable insights, all that happening through this process just by connecting to the breath. And that process, the 2-day process was called, the 2-day workshop was called Sacred Breath Workshop. Then we had a workshop for the inner child, because a lot of times we find that people have, most of the issues are coming from their present life childhood, from the time they're born and when they're during their early childhood. A lot of blocks are developed, and those blocks, they find it very difficult because these keep affecting them throughout their life. So these blocks are cleared only when we work on this particular processes called inner child work. So we had this 2-day inner child work, which we called the inner child healing workshop. And then we had another workshop, which is called self-mastery. Self-mastery is another amazing workshop that we developed, which uses advanced processes like shamanism, shamanic healing processes, soul retrieval, and many other kinds of advanced techniques which help people to go to a deeper and greater level of understanding. In all, we had 9 different types of workshops. And then we started the 6-day residential training program. So this, because there was a growing need among people, they said, okay, how can we also become past life regression facilitators? And how can we also go to a still deeper level? Yes, we have done individual sessions, individual past life regression sessions. We have done past life regression and spiritual science workshop. But how do we go to the next level in our self work, in our deeper work on the past life issues? And secondly, how can we also learn to help others doing regression work? Like how can we become facilitators in the past life regression process? So our first training program was past life regression and spiritual science training program. And of course, in the 2-day workshops, we also have another one, which is the family constellation process, family constellation 2-day workshop. And this is an amazing process, which was founded by Bert Hellinger. And unfortunately, Bert Hellinger passed away last year in 2019, September, an amazing master. And he brought this great gift to the world called family constellation, an amazingly powerful process which helps to understand and heal aspects which keep running from generation to generation, issues that keep running from generation to generation in the family system. So that's family constellation. And then in the training programs, the first, as I said, was past life regression, the 6-day residential training program. Then we started inner child, and then we did breath mastery, which is, you can say, an extended version of the sacred breath. Inner child is again the 6-day version of the 2-day inner child healing workshop. And then we had family constellation 6-day training, where we used to, the people were trained in how to become family constellation facilitators. And then finally, the last workshop that we started was the breath mastery. In fact, the family constellation was the 4th one, and the 5th and final 6-day residential training program that we launched was the life between lives. After a lot of spiritual work, finally we found that people still lacked clarity on what is their life purpose. How do we really know what we are here to do in life? And this Life Between Lives program really helps people to gain that very deep understanding of why they are here in this lifetime and what is it that as a soul they had planned before they were even born. And all that planning, we know now that it happens in the stage called the LBL, or the Life Between Lives stage. And in the Life Between Lives stage, we have the stage between the two lives where they plan the next incarnation. And when we connect to that, we have a clearer understanding. So people can live more meaningful and purposeful lives if they can connect to that part of the memories where they actually see how they were planning and what they planned for this life. So this is the residential training program. Now, so these are the different training programs we can say from the healing perspective, from the self-healing perspective, and also from the way of understanding how to heal others. But I can say that the biggest jump, or I can say the quantum jump, happened in Quantum Life University when the whole concept of the Soul Coach transformation program became manifested, or the idea of the Soul Coach transformation program was conceived, and then it started. In the year 2011 itself, it was felt that people should have a broader understanding of spiritual science itself. Because when we know that we are spiritual beings, so we need to understand spiritual science. Like if we want to be healthy, we should have some understanding about how our body functions. The same way, if we as spiritual beings are living this spiritual existence on earth, then we need to know the spiritual laws of the universe, and we need to know the spiritual subjects and the various topics of spiritual science. And that's why the Soul Coach training program is such an amazing program, because it provides people with the essential foundation for complete spiritual science education. And that's absolute core foundation. And based on that, people can then develop into whichever aspect they really have greater interest. Like we have more than 100 topics in the Soul Coach transformation program. And in these 100 topics, we have aspects like, let's say, astral travel, dreams, Kundalini, many amazing things. It all starts with, of course, meditation, because meditation is like, there's also a program which Dr. Newton had done few days back, a class on this, that meditation is the alpha and omega of spiritual science. So starting with meditation and then developing all other processes and topics. So more than 108 topics, 100 plus topics of spiritual science. So once the Soul Coach transformation program is attended by someone, then they can really know what is it that they have a particular skill in. So we find that someone finds that they have some aptitude towards astral travel. So they start working more on astral travel. Someone is very good in understanding their own dreams, decoding their own dreams. So they can work on dreams, because all these are like different ways and approaches to your own spiritual evolution. And so that is the Soul Coach transformation program. Now, increasingly, we found that once the campus is started, a lot of people wanted to come and visit the campus and understand what's going on there, but they were not in a position, for whatever reasons, that they were not in a position to come and attend some of the programs. Even the free 10-day Soul Coach training program, although it is free, because maybe of time constraints or any other reasons, they were not able to come to attend that. But still, they wanted to experience the university and what's happening there and connect with the energy of the university. And then this other beautiful program called the Maitreya Buddha training program was conceived, which allows people to come there for a weekend. And we have one Maitreya Buddha training program every month on a weekend. And the dates are announced almost a year ahead. Like, for instance, the 2020 dates are already announced till December 2020. Unfortunately, for the past 2 months, we are not having any of these programs because of the corona lockdown. But otherwise, we'll resume as soon as the lockdown is lifted, and we are going to have these amazing programs called Maitreya Buddha training programs. So these were started a few years ago, and it's such a wonderful capsule because it helps people to come, experience, stay there, and also participate in classes on amazing topics. For instance, one series of classes of the Maitreya Buddha training program were completed, in which every class had one chapter of the Bhagavad Gita in brief, completely explained. All the shlokas in that particular chapter would be explained, and the essence of that whole chapter would be explained. So there would be 2 classes, one on Saturday and one on Sunday, and those 2 classes would cover the complete chapter. And then the rest of the time, the persons would take part in Shramadhan, in which they would indulge in tree plantations. They would work towards cleaning up the place, clearing plastic, clearing junk from around the campus, and doing many other aspects which are all required to run an establishment of that type, to run a kind of a spiritual center or a retreat. And it really brought about so much of transformation among the people because they were really able to connect to all aspects. So it would bring in the seva element among people. It would awaken within them, and it would remove any inhibition that they would have about doing physical work at all. And they have also reported that once they go back home, they were able to bring these changes into their own lives, and their lives were actually transformed even just by the simple weekend workshops or training programs, which we call the Maitreya Buddha training programs. So these are the amazing training programs that have been conducted over the last 10 years since we actively started work on the Quantum Life University. And before that, almost 10 programs in the Life Research Academy. Yes.
Thank you, Rajsekhar.
Thank you for giving me an opportunity to share this with all our friends. And thank you, friends, for actually taking time out to hear this class.
It's so good to hear about how the evolution happened in the work and how this university started growing from the bud to the flower state. And it's really wonderful. And dear friends, this journey is so unique and beautiful with our friends here. And I'm on it. So I want you to know about these two masters. That's why I'm keeping this slide. And Rajsekhar and Sridevi is not here now. She couldn't join, but she is the force. She is such a powerful master, and which you all must know about this master, who is a very silent master. Lot of karma yoga. She does a lot of karma yoga, nishkama karma yoga. She's always into action without action, doing without doing. I wonder sometimes how just one woman could manage hundreds, thousands of people, but she has such an energy, and she's really such a great divine force. And you must all know about her. You must meet her possible in your lifetime. And dear friends, and these two masters, Rajsekhar and Sridevi, we always feel that it's our good fortune that we could meet such noble and such great souls. Because Rajsekhar, I have not met these Greek masters, Socrates and Plato, but when I always hear him, whenever he takes any class, it's like as if Socrates is speaking, or Plato is speaking. I find that he is such embodiment of such divine knowledge. He has such great wisdom in him. And there will be more opportunities to hear this master Rajsekhar and to meet the divine master Sridevi. And dear friends, this is briefly about Rajsekhar and Sridevi. And we must learn from everyone. Everyone is so divine. So dear friends, so about the topic now, Wu Wei, doing nothing, because this is something very, very important on the planet Earth. Particularly these times, we have become so busy and we are constantly running, chasing things. We chase money, we chase business, we chase people, we chase, run after many things. We are running after many things. And We are exhausted. Maybe at this point of time, it's like Corona, COVID-19. This is like said to the humanity now, people, human beings, come on, slow down. It has pressed the reset button to us. And suddenly we are finding so much time for ourselves. We are doing nothing, actually staying at home. We are not doing any business because there's nothing to do now. And we are staying at home and we're slowing down, and so many interesting things are happening. We are coming to know about ourselves. And these are the words that I heard from Zen master Rinzai. This master said, sitting silently, doing nothing, spring comes and the grass grows by itself. What an amazing verse he uttered. His life is an example of that. He was always living that way. He was doing nothing. Means he was doing, but without doing. And in the year 1996 onwards, I started retiring from, my work. Actually, I took a voluntary retirement. Now, even now, I'm in a retirement stage. Means I am enjoying my retirement life. At a very younger age, I retired from the life which is very like a machine life, a robotic life. Like I said, let me now just slow down, let me be myself. And I started actually going around everywhere with Dr. Lakshmi. And we really now working without working. And I must tell you this truth also. Sridevi is the force, manifestation force, and whereas the Shakti behind, means a primal force, is Dr. Lakshmi. When I see Dr. Lakshmi, I always find her with such energy of Parvati, energy of Lakshmi, energy of Saraswati Mata, a Lalita Mata, because she always does things without doing much. Even in medical college, I met her during our medical college days. She used to read very little only. She used to read just few hours, where I used to read days and days. But she used to completely get through all the exams. Better marks, better scores she used to achieve. I always wonder how she could do it. She works so little, but achieves more. She does very little, but achieves many things. I learned this principle directly from this master, Dr. Lakshmi, because I was witnessing her, watching her. Whereas I was always like a workaholic. I used to work so hard. From my childhood, that was a pattern. But suddenly I realized that I don't need to. I can work without working. I learned that art. So here, the Rinzai, this master, the words are so apt for us, dear friends. Sitting silently, doing nothing, spring comes, the grass grows by itself. And every day I work for at least 18 hours, but I don't find that's a work. I write, I answer emails, I attend to phone calls, I also prepare presentations, I also read spiritual books, and my passion is to teach. I offer meditation sessions, but still I find this is not at all work. For me, this is not work. I don't feel tired. Even after 18 hours, I don't feel tired. I'm living a retired life, really a retired life. Means retirement, people think that only after 60s they retire. But no, friends, when we follow this principle called work without work, do without doing, act without acting, then you have really got the knack of doing everything. You do things. I'm not saying that we must become lazy people. So so there are many people who think that this is a misconception. One misconception is it's laziness. Doing nothing is lazy. Meditation makes people very lazy, or it makes people to avoid things and they do nothing, to face the world, to face the situations in the world, to run away from responsibilities. They do nothing. They'll be just lying down or eating food and sleeping all the time. But it's not true. Wu Wei is not laziness. Laziness is procrastination. It's coming out of your tamasic gun, your tamasic nature, where you have very dense negative thoughts, and you have fear, and laziness is coming out of that. You procrastinate things, but doing nothing, this phenomena that we're talking about, Wu Wei, is coming out of your consciousness, which is awakened consciousness. When you're fully awakened, when you are yourself, then you really live your life, whatever in the style of Wu Wei, doing without doing. So, dear friends, Wu Wei is going with the universal laws, with the nature, laws of nature. We don't go upstream. One day, Mullah Nasruddin was at home, and suddenly few friends neighbors ran and came to the home and told Mullah Nasruddin. They said, Mullah, your wife is, she fallen into the river. Now run and save her. So Mullah Nasruddin started running towards the river, which was close to that place. And he wants to save her. So all the neighbors they could see the love of Mullah Nasruddin towards the wife. He loves his wife so much. That's why he's so fast. He's running like a cheetah, very fast. And because many people, they don't run such fast when it comes to save the life of wife, or even to do something for the wife. But Mullah that day was demonstrating something beautiful. And he jumped straight away into the river. And he started swimming upstream against the flow of water. And all the neighbors said, why are you going upstream? Your wife has fallen in the river, and she might have been carried by the river downstream. You must go downstream, down the stream, not upstream. But he said, you fellows, you shut your mouth. I know my wife. She always, whatever I say, she opposes me. Whatever I say, she argues with me. I know her. She always goes upstream only. She goes against everything. So I know her psychology. I will search here by going upstream. So, dear friends, most of us in our life, we are really tiring ourselves, going against the stream. So when we know that there are certain universal principles and the nature is always right and perfect, nature guides us, the Prakriti, which is the manifestation of the great energy of all that is the God who created this universe, which is the main force. We may call it as all that is. And that force has manifested this entire nature. The nature is always guiding us. If we go against the nature, the forces which are there in the nature, and immediately we have certain consequences. We can see in the world right now, people are stressed. People are, they always say, I don't have time. My life is so hectic. I am very, very busy. They always say that time is not there. And they say only this. Nowadays, nobody is really have this relaxed time for themselves, and nobody has time for book reading, nobody has time for meditation. And we always burning ourselves through this kind of running and chasing in the world. So I don't know why we do this chasing, why we need to run like this. I wonder sometimes why we are running crazy. We are really crazy people. And dear friends, this master Lao Tzu, who said about these beautiful words, he's my great inspiration. He said, the highest virtue is not virtuous, therefore it has virtue. The lowest virtue holds on to virtue, therefore it has no virtue. The highest virtue does nothing, yet nothing needs to be done. The lowest virtue does everything, yet much remains to be done. The highest benevolence acts without purpose. These are something very, very important words for the current society and all the human beings, because we always want to be very virtuous and we strive to be virtuous. We want to be humble and we try to be humble. I have seen people try to be humble. I have seen people trying to be meditative, trying to meditate. But it is not that way, friends. Wu Wei is telling this principle that Lao Tzu is expressing here is called actually Wu Wei. I tell you to make you understand this principle through a story. In one kingdom, there was a king and all his, battalion, all the people, all the soldiers, ministers, and everyone. So one day something happens. A thief has done something in the palace. So many things were robbed. And the king was astonished about it. He wanted to find out. Even in this kingdom, there are thieves. I want to find out. So kings also used to be in disguise and go roam around and check things with what's going in the state. So that day he sent everyone, all the ministers and the minister and the soldiers, all of them also went for search and to find out what's happening. So there was a beggar who was blind. He was sitting opposite the palace, and the soldier first went to check with him to understand, is there anyone who passed by? Because he wants to know about the thief. And he asked the beggar who is blind, he said, "Oh, blind, have you noticed, have you felt someone running in a hurried way? And with a stick he has touched the beggar with whatever the weapon he has in his hand, spear. He poked the beggar and asked that way." He said, "No, I am sitting here for last almost 24 hours, but I have not noticed anyone." That's what he has answered. And now the minister has come. Minister also asked him, and the beggar answered in the same way, "I did not notice anyone." Now the king has come, asked him again the same question. Now the king is in disguise, but this beggar is blind, he can't see. And immediately the king asked, the beggar said, "Oh Maharaj, namaskar, pranams to you." And nobody has passed. Already many people passed through this place and they asked the same question. And the king was surprised. He was in disguise. Even nobody can find out that it's the king. How could a blind one, a beggar, could find out that he is a Maharaj? So he asked him, "How do you know that I am Maharaj?" And how do you know that others are my own people, like a soldier and minister? And the beggar answered beautifully, friends. He said, the first one who came, I know because his behaviors, his words were rude. He's showing his authority. He's poking me with his spear into my belly, and he is rudely speaking. He said to me, blind, oh blind fellow, you tell me, is anyone who passed through this place? So I know that those who try to show their authority, their power, that they're great, we know that they're the lowest cadre. I immediately sense this is the person who is in such a job, who is doing that kind of job, and who is trying to show his authority on others. And the second one, minister, is a little bit authoritative, but not poking me. Immediately I recognize this person must be a little higher rank than the earlier soldier. And the third one, when you came, you are so polite. You said pranams and namaste, and you greeted me. You treated me with such respect. And immediately I know you are the noble one. I know that you are already a Maharaja. And you don't need to show that you are a Maharaja to others. You don't need to tell to the world that you are a Maharaja, because you're already that. So dear friends, the moral of this story is, when we try to be perfect, know that you are already trying to hide your imperfection. When you try to achieve great things, know that there's something that you want to the world to know, that you are a great achiever. There is something that you are inside proving. You want to prove to the world that you are a great achiever, successful person. You are trying to gain the attention of the people. So even this is what exactly Lao Tzu is conveying. Highest benevolence acts without purpose, means motivation or intent. Many of us, we have a hidden motivations. When we do something to others, immediately we think, what do I get from this? There is a catch, hidden catch. One time I was traveling in US, and somebody said, now we are giving an offer. You can stay in this place, a beautiful natural place. There is a beautiful resort, and it's a free. I thought, how can someone give free? Okay, we took that place, and after going there, they said, you have to attend 2 hours, 3 hours our lecture, because we offered it free. And in that lecture, it's a business class. They were trying to convince me to sign up for some business contracts and all that. I came to know about their hidden motivations. So many of us, when they do something to others, we are doing not from really a pure doing, not from a kind of selfless giving. It's not selfless action. There is a hidden motivation. There is a catch, dear friends. In the world, that's what happens. There is a catch always. So highest benevolence acts without these hidden motivations, without this kind of inner expectations, inner your intent or purposes. We just become a flower which is offering the fragrance. That's what is called true giving. It's called highest benevolence. So dear friends, there is a crowd mentality and a social conditioning we see around, where people always see others. Oh, everyone is trying to be, achiever and succeeding, and they want to be number one topper in every field. Even spirituality also. People want to beat other gurus. They want to be the number one guru. Spirituality is supposed to be, not a competition. Instead, it is like a collaboration and cooperation between all the masters, because they are all working towards the same purpose and goal. They want to create a kind of beautiful oneness field. They want to convey this experience to people, that one can slow down, one can meditate. This is the message of every spiritual guru, but we see something different. Every spiritual organization try to be that they are the number ones, others are inferior. They try to beat others. Even businesses, the same thing. They want to be achievers, toppers. And people are, all the businesses are, dooming. They're going down because they're exhausted. They're not learning about this sacred principle called move way. If a business can be done in a different way, all the businesses will be thriving. They will flower. Really, they can be done in a different way. Action without action, doing without doing. But this crowd mentality that we have, we see our neighbors always busy and we also become busy. Oh, I'm also supposed to be busy. I have to work hard. We have become such workaholics nowadays, dear friends. That is not going to really help us in the long run. Many people, they are experiencing breakdowns, nervous breakdowns. They're experiencing the stress in their life. They're experiencing all kinds of lifestyle disorders, hypertension, diabetes, cancers, so many diseases which are created just because we have become workaholics. We are exhausting ourselves by doing more, overdoing, overworking, over-pressurizing ourselves. I'm not telling that now we must stop doing and becoming lazy. It's not that I'm conveying, dear friends. What I'm trying to convey is we can learn the art of doing without doing. The art of moving. Even now I work, but for me it is not a work because it is coming from my being state. I have found my inner center. One day it happened to be in a few sessions and I forgotten the time. I went beyond time and it was almost like lunch hour is over and everything is over. The workshop was continuing and Sridevi ma'am was reminding me that it's a time to give a break, lunch. But I found that it's already 4 p.m. The lunch break is generally at 1 p.m. But almost like morning we started, it was flowing. And I felt non-exhausted. Though I was completely very active and doing the workshop and delivering all that part, I really understood that it is the work that can happen from the deeper place. We all can really achieve that state, friends. I'm still actually evolving in this. There's more to learn. And but it's really wonderful. And I must now communicate about why do we develop this kind of thing? Why we become like human robotics, human machines? Where did we lose our way? Why we are so much obsessed about certain things in our life, which are really non-essential. For example, if we are on the deathbed, only essential things will come out for us. Only essential things will be in our mind. We know that in the next 2 hours we are going to die. We don't think unnecessary things. So what is that we really need to find out? Long back when we were children, we experienced this beautiful being state, my friends. We were actually in the paradise. We were doing nothing as children, approximately around 3 to 5 years age. We were in paradise, we were in kingdom of God. And remember the words of this master, Jesus Christ, who said, unless until you become a child again, you cannot step into the kingdom of God. You have to become like a child, childlike. then you can enter into the kingdom of God, kingdom of heaven. It means paradise. It means that it is effortless effort, living, from your being state. Every child is born that way. If you notice your own childhood, definitely before all the conditioning happened to you, you are that way. You are like that. You are innocent. You are pure being. You are full of joy. You are smiling. You are dancing. You are singing. You are celebrating. You are authentic. You are honest. You are spontaneous. You are creative. You are playful. There are so many things. When you are a child, you are actually in a paradise at the time. But slowly after some time, we lost everything. Dear friends, what happened to us? Why we lost all those things? A child has such energy. Almost the child will be waking up in the morning till night. They will be doing so many activities. They will be playing the ball. They will be sometimes rolling on the ground, somersaults they do. They play with the pet animals. They go and climb the tree. As adults, we see them that they are like full of energy. But as children, as adults, we feel so tired. We need to take short naps. We have to sleep for some time. We feel so tired. After doing 2-3 hours work, we feel so tired, exhausted. But children are no exhaustion, no stress, they're like free flow. Why it is that they're not getting tired? Because they know Wu way. It's like they are in the beingness. They are in their real essential nature. They don't go against the nature. They're highly compassionate. They don't have this kind of mind, logical, linear, analytical mind, which goes on thinking, doing postmortem and analysis of everything. They don't worry about the future. Oh, tomorrow what will happen? What do I eat tomorrow? What kind of breakfast I get? Or will have money after 1 year? They don't have. They live only in the moment. So, dear friends, they are already living the words of this Taoist master Lao Tzu, Wu Wei. So why we have really moved away from this state of being? What happened to us? If we look at our childhood, we notice that many of us have gone through a kind of conditioning process, domestication process. Children also are domesticated like animals. How we train the animals, a cat, how to behave. In the child is also taught, conditioned by parents. You are supposed to do like this. You have to be supposed to laugh like this, think like this, feel this way. You are not supposed to be yourself. You are supposed to become somebody else. You have to, in the childhood only, they will say you have to become a rich man. But parents must tell to a child, be a happy person in the childhood. That must be told to a child. But totally a completely different conditioning is given to every child. A child is told that you must become a rich man, become an IAS officer, become a great doctor, become a minister, become a prime minister, only those things. In the childhood, that was what is given to us. But I tell you, the child was domesticated, my dear friends, conditioned deeply. And many of the children were verbally abused, physically abused, sexually abused. Their boundaries are not respected. Emotional boundaries are not respected. Parents they fight with each other. They throw all their emotions on the children. And what happens to this child? The child feels it's my fault. Because of me, parents are fighting. It's because of me. They take completely the responsibility on their shoulders. They feel bad. They feel so insecure. And most of the times, parents, they don't have time for children because they themselves have so much of emotional blocks. They go on fighting. They are very busy. they don't have time. So what happens when the time is not there for a child? Apart from these direct traumatic episodes for a child where the boundaries are violated, where the child is not respected, not approved, not given the time, where the child is beaten, scolded, and harmed in several ways, and sometimes the child expresses about what they want to do, like they want to do certain wonderful things in life, but the child was told that you should not be that, you should not think that way, you must be like, I'm a doctor, you must also become a doctor. Or if the father could not become a doctor, he says, I could not become a doctor, now you become a doctor. This is what the child is traumatized in the childhood. So, dear friend, the child develops certain kinds of layers of conditioning. They're deeply conditioned. So these are certain things the child, really every child needs. Look at this. The time is required for every child. The child who is given this beautiful, time from the parents. Parents have time for the child. Then the child feels, I am loved by my parents. When the child feels loved, they know how to love themselves. The children who are not loved, they don't know about self-love. They can't love themselves. They don't have self-love because they have not experienced it. The time that is given to the children is called love, dear friends. If father is all the time speaking over the phone about the business, even after his working hours, the child thinks that my father loves his business more than me. My mother loves the television serials more than me. And they don't love me. That's what a child thinks that way. And attention. The child needs attention. Are you attending to your child? Are you giving your attention to the child? Your attention is really the energy for a child, a mother's attention and a father's attention. That develops a self-worth for a child. Many children at a very younger age who was not given the attention by the parents, they think I'm not worthy of the attention of my parents. They attend to their works. They're very busy because I'm unworthy. They don't have attention towards me. They don't attend to me. Sometimes in the childhood, we try to gain their attention in the wrong ways by harming ourselves, by becoming sick. Sometimes we have a negative attention. We draw the attention of the parents because we try to prove that I'm a worthy person. At least the negative way also, I must get the attention. Sometimes they try to become very ambitious and proving people, children that try to prove their self-worth through academics, through sports, by becoming toppers and all that. But that still it won't heal the wound of unworthiness. So the third one is affection that parents they show by hugs, by tapping on the shoulders, by the touch, the very gentle, humane, loving touch of the parents. It's so important, it gives the approval. And the fourth one, the guidance that they receive from parents is going to develop the competence in a child. Most of the times, the parents, they think that they have given all the freedom to the child, but it's not the freedom that they have given. They are actually not caring for the child. If parents really care for them, they guide child. A mother guides the daughter, a father guides the son. Both the parents guides the daughter and the son. Like a child at a very younger age learning about how to ride a bicycle, and child really wants that guidance from a parent. When first time you are riding the bicycle, your parent, your father is looking from behind you. Initially, he was holding the bike and telling to you that, my dear son, my dear daughter, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it. Yes, you're doing it. And after that, he leaves holding the bike, and the child starts actually riding the bicycle, and it feels so good. In that moment, you can feel the cool breeze, the air coming and touching your face, and you look at your father who is admiringly looking at you, appreciating you in that moment. And you can say, I can do it, I can do it. Father also is saying, you can do it, you can do it. That develops the competence in a child. So important, dear friends, the guidance. And discipline, nurturing discipline is so important. It develops the character. Most of the times in the world, we see that most of the people, they don't have a character. Most of the time, they don't know who they are. Character means they must know about their personality structure, what they're actually thinking, emoting, feeling, goals, everything about their personality structure that they evolved. But mostly, they don't know about themselves. The character is not shaped up. So we find this nurturing discipline means loving discipline. Discipline is not like a dictatorship or autocratic kind of discipline where many parents, they scold, they whip, and they try to beat the child, and abusive words they use to discipline the child. That actually messes up everything. But the compassionate, nurturing discipline is something, an art, dear friends. So when these 5 things are given to a child, the time, attention, affection, guidance, and discipline, nurturing discipline, the child is without any kind of void. Otherwise, the child develops these kind of emptiness. Look at this apple, the picture of this apple. You find that there is this void. This apple has an empty space. And many of us at a very younger age, we develop this kind of emptiness inside. We are empty of love. We don't have love. We are having void of love, the void of appreciation, approval, the void of self-worth, void of what is called as affection, the void of freedom. Many children are not given the freedom to be themselves. They have void of freedom. So we all have developed these kinds of voids, dear friends. They're developed from the unmet needs. Because I'm telling you how we develop this kind of tendency to be compulsive and obsessive, and we become human robotics, human machines, human doings, rather than human beings. Because these are the voids which really triggers us. We try to find a substitute. We try to compensate. We try to prove our lack of self-worth, void of self-worth, by becoming an achiever, becoming a kind of a successful person. We do overwork. We overdo many things. We'll be working like machines. So this is what generally happens. We can find that in the world, many examples. Many people, they do that. They overwork, overdo things. So these unmet needs, which creates a kind of behavioral patterns in us. For example, to get the love from parents at a very younger age, a child tries to do so many things to receive love and appreciation from the parents. And also to get their attention, they do so many things. like they try to impress parents by doing everything, pleasing them, even though many things are really very difficult for the child, but they do try to please the parents. Their life revolves around the parents. Later on, when we grow up in the school, we try to do the same thing. You become an academic champion. You try to get attention of all the students and teachers, and you try to get everything, because attention and love and appreciation and approval from the world. Later on in the job that you find, later on you try to find this, try to substitute this void emptiness in you with money. You think that if I have money, that's a good compensation. With money I can buy so many things. I can roam around the globe. I can travel around, so that I will not have time to think about my void or inner emptiness. But we all carrying such inner emptiness, dear friends. This is something very, very essential to know. We are carrying this void. Unless we again become a child, recognize these voids, step inside the void, and then you are healing it. Because unless you embrace this void cannot be turned around, it cannot be healed. And after that, we don't need to prove our self-worth to anybody. We don't need to be perfectionists. We don't need to become, person proving to the world that I am great, I am successful, look at me, you adore me, you admire me, I am the number one. We don't do that. Why people always want to be the number one celebrities and be on the high pedestal? Because they want attention. They want appreciation. But most of the times, people are, this attention they're gaining is coming from their unmet need void inside. But after you heal this void, you achieve everything. You will become the number one in your business, even though you don't intend it. You will be the celebrity. Everyone really admires you, even though you don't want the attention of the world. But still people love you for who you are, because they can see you now. Because your self-worth that you gained, self-love that you found, that self-compassion that you have achieved, everything inside you is so complete and full, you radiate it out. Now everything you do is not really doing. It is like doing without doing. Dear friends, many of us, we go into these ego tricks and ego trips. Our brain, our mind, our personality structure is really always is playing these tricks. Maybe if I become this, I'll be feeling worthy. I prove my worth to the world. Nothing to prove, dear friends. You are already worthy. You are a divine being. Only thing is your mind is conditioned to think that there's a distortion in the mind that happened and you thought that I'm not worthy. That's where your whole effort that, oh, I have to become perfect, I have to prove my worth, I have to achieve, I have to become number one. All these things are coming. Our ego is playing tricks. Ego is making us going into trips, many trips. There's an immense freedom in being nobody by dropping the mask. Be nobody and do nothing. This is what meditation is. You become an empty bowl. Can you just sit down and do nothing and drop all your ambitions, drop all your expectations, drop all that what you are really thinking in you about your life, worries, drop all your worries, drop every effort, be effortless. Really you touch to a deeper place, dear friends. And out of this nothing arises our freedom, our wholeness. Remember, my dear friends, we are all already divine beings. And we don't really need to put an effort to become again whole, because we are already whole and divine. Only thing is, these condition layers, the layers of conditioning around us, it is preventing us to recognize who we truly are. That's all. Only effort that's needed is dropping these layers. Just like clouds which really clouded the sky, and it's masking, it's preventing the sunshine to come and reach you. What you need to do is do nothing. Let the breeze, the wind come and disperse all the clouds. And once the clouds are moving away, what happens? You can find the sunshine. Already sun is shining within you. Only thing is, these dark clouds are preventing you from looking at the sunshine in you. You are a shining star. You are a master, my dear friends. Only thing is, you just allow these layers, clouds, dark clouds, which you carried in your mind to drop down. And then you become really who you really are. You are that essence in you. Then from that place within you, everything is a kind of, effortless. You become so effortless. So, dear friends, I tell you this story of one sage called Vishwamitra. He's a sage from Treta Yuga, from the times of Lord Rama. He was a great sage. He was practicing such intense meditations. There was a particular story about him. In that story, when he was meditating, Indra Deva from the heavens, he is the god of heavens. He is in charge of this heavenly astral plane. Indra was worried because whoever is meditating, he thinks that, oh, this fellow now will occupy my position, because the Indra is called a post, means whoever is really mastering their mind, all the five senses, they will become the Indras. So he tries to distract Vishwamitra by sending some kind of beautiful girl, one damsel, Apsaras. In India, we call them Apsaras, like a Miss Universe, He selected one person, Menaka. Menaka, he said, you go now and distract Vishwamitra from his meditation. He is doing too much intense meditation. He must really, you make him come out of the meditation. He need to be distracted, because my post will be gone otherwise. And with Menaka appearing, and she came down to the earth plane, she started dancing, and suddenly he woke up from his meditation. He came out. He started also having a fun time, entertainment, and he started dancing with Menaka. So, dear friends, this I tell the inner meaning of this story. This true meaning of this story is, Vishwamitra is putting all the effort in meditation. He is putting so much of effort in his meditation. Meditation is called as effortless. Already it must be effortless. Meditation is doing nothing, but he is doing intense. And Indra saw that. He wanted to help him. If anybody is doing that, working so hard, one must also give a kind of break and relax in between. So I introduced these two words called Avirama Parisrama, Savirama Parisrama. These are the words in Sanskrit and Hindi, and I think Telugu language. In Telugu language, I picked up these words. But I think same thing in Hindi. Avirama Parisrama means where you are doing tirelessly working tirelessly. That's called Avirama Parisrama. For example, you are working 20 hours without relaxation, without relaxedly you're doing the work. You get so tired, exhausted, stressed, burned out. And there is another word called Savirama Parisrama. You can do that same kind of word, but effortless effort, workless work, very relaxed way of doing the work. So Vishwamitra was given a kind of break where he was meditating with effort. Now Menaka made him to laugh, dance, have some fun. Also, there's a fun element in our life, play and fun, have fun and relax a little bit. And through that he found Savirama Parisrama, effortless effort. Many people, they ask me, many people, they come to learn meditation to Quantum Life University. One time I had a situation. One friend asked, who is a newcomer, he said, I never practiced meditation. And I said, okay, that's fine. You have at least come now. It's very good. But I am 30 plus now. I'm 30 years old already. You can really meditate? Maybe for children, it's easy for meditation practice, but I am already growing old. I have so many thoughts. I said, doesn't matter, whatever age, you must be 90-year-old, but if you're ready, you can start your meditation practice. He said, I can do, but what you're saying, doing nothing, be nobody, it's impossible for me because I am a chartered accountant. I am accountant, means I have a calculation always. I have to calculate certain things. Mathematical calculation happens in my mind. My mind has to calculate. So when you are saying that, watch your breath and witness what's happening, do nothing, be nobody, it's very difficult for me. Can I now do something, a different practice? Can I count numbers? I can count my breathing now. This is, I'm taking now the first breath. Now my second breath is entering into my nostrils. The third breath is entering into my nostrils. Fourth breath is entering into my nostrils. He asked me because he's so habituated to the numbers. His whole life is with numbers only. So many people, they really come into meditation. They put effort, friends. They only exert so much pressure. Meditation itself is such relaxation. When you are relaxing, that's what meditation is. Total relaxation. Your mind is relaxed. Your emotions are relaxed. Your ego is relaxed. Your defense mechanisms are completely shut down, and you are relaxing into your greater self. And meditation it's not, you can't meditate. Meditation happens. Just you have to become effortless. You have to sit down, do nothing, be nobody. Don't try to be somebody. Don't have ambition. I want third eye. I want to do astral travel. Don't have ambition. I want to be enlightened. All these are goals. It creates stress in your mind. It creates pressure on your mind. Don't drop every goal. In meditation, we must not have any kind of intention or goal. Meditate for the sake of meditation. Just doing nothing. Sitting quietly, closing your eyes, doing nothing, absolutely nothing. And can you sit like that one of the days, my dear friends, during the lockdown period, doing nothing with open eyes, but don't do anything. Don't do anything. Just be empty. Just, you may watch many things in front of you, but don't try to think about what you are watching. Just become the watcher in that moment. Even everything you observe, maybe you are sitting near a tree, a plant, maybe Tulsi plant which is there. Just watch the Tulsi plant. Do nothing. Sit. Just watch. Let's practice that way. Doing nothing, empty, empty, empty. Meditation happens. After that, when you close your eyes, there's no thought ripples, no thought waves. Restlessness is not there. Anxiety is not there. You are not worrying about the future. Nothing was there. is completely have reached to the utter emptiness. Practice non-doing and everything fall into place. Tao Te Ching. These are the words from this great scripture, Tao Te Ching. Tao Te Ching, from the Taoist philosophy. Here, practice means it's not effort again, because to convey about non-doing, I'm using the practice word, but practice non-doing means without effort. You stop all things when you are meditating. Drop your ambition, your goals, drop your thinking mind, drop your habitual mind, drop your all the baggage of emotions, drop everything, drop. Just do nothing and be zero, be empty, be completely zero. So far in the society, from childhood, we were taught become somebody. You have to become somebody. Now become nobody, be nobody. Embrace that nobodiness, embrace that nothingness. Then meditation happens, dear friends. Meditation will find you. You don't need to find meditation. So I give you a practice during this lockdown period. This I want to share with you, because this also beautiful moments on planet Earth. It's a time of Ramadan time. For all our brothers, Muslim brothers are doing amazing Ramadan, this festival for 40 days. And in this time, we also can practice something. It's called mind fasting. Mind fasting is so essential. Mind fasting is inner silence. When your mind is doing fasting, it is called silence. This is called Mano Shunya Sthiti. Manas has become Shunya. Alochana Rahitya Sthiti means your mind is now empty. This is called mind fasting. This beautiful word from Buddhist masters. They do a lot of mind fasting. Don't think about the past. Don't worry about the future. Don't think about it in the present moment. And it's called mind fasting. You can do mind fasting. Say to yourself that today I decide that I will be going on mind fasting. For 8 hours, I don't think anything. Just observe things, that's all. Let your mind do the fasting. Word fasting means through your mouth, not a single word is coming. That's called external silence, mauna. Word fasting, no words. Observe what happens in you. That's also beautiful. Sometimes we need to stay in silence at least one day in a month. Once in a month, we need to do this. Word fasting. Stomach fasting means when you are not eating food. In a month, at least one time or 2 times or 4 times if it is possible. If some of you are very keen, every week one day, complete 1 day stomach fasting. Only you take liquids. You drink water or you drink fruit juice. This is called fasting that you are doing for stomach. This also, when you are doing the stomach fasting the food, fasting food. And what happens is you get energy from cosmos. You know how to get the energy from the universe, cosmic energy. You're giving an opportunity to appreciate this beautiful cosmic food, cosmic energy food. So one day you can decide about ego fasting. What is this ego fasting? Means for a week you decide, 1 week. In this 1 week, let me check if I can be non-reactive, non-reacting to people around me. Means our ego is always brushed and triggered by words and behaviors of people. All the time, people around us, they're triggering us. Bigger is the ego, bigger is the triggers. Smaller is the ego, smaller is the trigger. No ego, no trigger. Ego fasting is you're dropping your ego. You become nobody. You become that I am nothing, I am zero. If you are zero, if anybody scolds you, it won't hurt you at all. I tell you an example. One day Buddha was begging the food. He was in a village. He visited one woman's house. The lady of the house came out, started scolding Buddha. Because Buddha is around maybe around 45 years age and really well-built body, and he's handsome, and she started scolding. You fellow, you look so healthy, and why do you beg for food? Can't you do work? Can't you work? She was abusive language she was using almost for hours. She was exhausted, but Buddha was smiling. And she asked Buddha, I was scolding you for the last 2 hours. You are just, you don't have a trigger. You didn't react. Tell me how is possible to you? And Buddha answered, Oh Mata, oh mother, if you offer me some kind of food, if I receive the food goes to me. If I refuse to take the food, where does this food go back? It goes back to you, right? The same way, whatever the words that you are uttering through your mouth, I have not received it. It's with you only. Because Buddha was completely, has no ego. No this kind of ego. He is soul, his consciousness, he's a Buddha. He is an awakened one. This is something very, very beautiful story. So dear friends, can you do this for a week? You say that to understand how this ego plays a trick, how you react to many things, and you can observe yourself at that point of time. It's okay sometimes you observe that you are reacting. You are becoming angry. You are uttering certain things. You react and you are really losing your cool. And immediately recognize this self-importance that you have. Oh, you are too important in your own eyes. That ego is big. And immediately when the awareness comes, it can be dropped. The beauty of awareness is when you become aware of something and immediately it dissolves. That's the beauty of awareness. And then the last practice that I want to insist is called relationships fasting. What is this relationships fasting? So far, from childhood, we are always interested in others. Always we want to relate with others. Of course, it's important to relate with others, with the community, with the people around us. But for some time, maybe a day or 2 days, why don't you are not interested in others, but you are interested about yourself. You are developing a beautiful relationship with your own self. Why not you look at yourself? Why not really look at your body, look at your mind, look at your heart, look at your own deeper self, which is really hidden inside you. What a beautiful being you are. In the relationship fasting, that's the benefit. You can relate with yourself now. You can develop relationship with your breathing. You fall in love with your breath. You fall in love with your mind. You fall in love with your own beautiful divine self that you have. So every fasting that we do, it really benefits us, dear friends. At this point of time, it's like a coronavirus has pushed this reset button. In a computer, we have a reset button. It really pushed it. And everything is restarting now. Everything is like reset mode. We are already doing last almost 1.5 months, we are doing this staying at home. We are trying to break all the old patterns, habitual patterns. We are becoming aware, growing in our awareness. And we can do this mind fasting. And one day you do word fasting, no words. That day complete mauna. You shut your mouth completely. You have a zip. You lock your mouth. you don't open your mouth that day. Completely for 24 hours. Observe what is happening in you that moment. It's something very beautiful. When you don't speak, your energy is not leaving you. The next day, the words that are coming out, it straight away comes from your heart and the soul. And do one day fasting. Test it. Only liquid diet. It's also something very, very beautiful. In India, we believe that the old saying which says, Langanam Parama Aushadam. Langanam means fasting the food, fasting food. Food you are not taking for 24 hours. You are only taking liquid diet. You are only drinking fruit juice or something like that. So ego fasting, we can also do that. You can do that, ego fasting, so that we understand our triggers and we can really develop how to respond, how to be a kind of beautiful, responsible beings. Relationship fasting, it really makes you become aware of your own divine self, and then later on, all relationships you can be so much harmonious. You relate with others. If you can't relate with your own self, if you hate yourself, how can you ever love others? If you only can love yourself, you can also love others. If you can be a great friend to yourself, you can be a friend to the whole universe. So that's what is the practice, friends. So this I'm giving to all of you. These practices can be done during this time of this situation in India and across the globe. We all heard about Lord Sri Krishna, who talked about elaborately about action without action. When Arjuna was asking so many questions, and Krishna was always saying, you must be a doer, but do without doing, act without acting, put effort without efforts. Is very, very really difficult to comprehend, but it's very simple, friends. What is conveyed is very simple. It's not really a mystery. Doing without doing, practicing non-doing is so easy and simple. You still do, but without doing, without exhaustion, without putting all your pressure, being robotic, not that way, but you are really doing everything from your being state. These words you can read, karmanye vadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. That means anything that you're doing, you do without any kind of expectations of the fruits. Don't think about the end results before. Don't have any expectation about how it is going to, what kind of fruits you get out of what you're doing. Do without doing. That's what Lord Krishna said in the karma yoga and also karma sannyasa yoga and Sankhya yoga. The many slokas that he has given, this beautiful really guidance that he has given. It's an amazing scripture, amazing words that Lord Krishna has given. Even he said, when Arjuna asked, karma means action. When I'm putting action, my actions are going to definitely harm someone, hurt someone. My words can hurt someone. Better I will be non-doing. I will not do anything. I will be a lazy person. And immediately Lord Krishna says, no, I'm not saying that. You should not be non-doing means it's not that you really become a lazy person. Non-doing is a beautiful concept that we need to understand from Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna, from Lao Tzu, from Zen masters, from Buddha, all these masters. but talking about doing without doing. You can do, but without being attached to anything. That's why Lord Krishna said, find action in inaction. Find inaction in action. That means when you are resting, you are actually working so much. When you are meditating, actually a lot of work is done. When you are doing physical work, actually you are not doing anything. Because in meditation, we are connected to a being state. You create energetic templates. All the work is done. Energy, you absorb, and later on when you're doing any physical activity, you're doing without doing. So it is really not really a difficult concept. It is very, very simple, dear friends. It's not mystical at all. It's not a mystery at all. It's so simple, easy. And dear friends, meditation is really a wonderful way to be nobody and do nothing. To understand this entire thing, we can actually practice meditation, and in the body, you suspend all the activity. Right now, we are going to practice meditation. In this meditation practice, what we're going to do is, we will not move our body. We just sit still. We just sit down, doing nothing. Let's attempt now. Let's try without trying. Put an effort without really effort. Let's close our eyes, dear friends. For 10 minutes, we're going to practice this meditation. Closing your eyes and observe your breathing, dear friends. Notice your in-breath and out-breath. Whatever breath involuntarily, effortlessly, which is happening, it's not with your effort, it's happening on its own. Just pay attention to it. Do nothing. Do nothing. You don't do anything. Meditation is actually dropping all that activity in the body, dropping all the activity of the mind. The habitual mind goes on coming back, wandering. When the mind is wandering here and there, immediately become aware of these wanderings of the mind and disidentify from this. Become a watcher of this mind. Let the mind think and think, it's okay. But you don't need to pay attention to your mind and thoughts in your mind. Pay attention to your breathing. Pay attention to the silence between the thoughts. Silence that's growing in you. Become a watcher. Become an observer. Become a witness to what's happening in you, dear friends. Just be. Be nobody. Be nothing. Nothing to do, nowhere to go, no ambitions, no expectations, no worries, no regrets, no guilt, no shame, no fear. No thoughts at all, no mind at all. No ego tricks, no ego. Let's drop one by one. Whatever is rising, your mind may think, oh, I have to cook my food. Immediately disidentify with it. It enters into your awareness field and drop it immediately. Oh, I have to send an email to somebody that you have. Suddenly this thought comes into your mind. Even drop that thought. Everything, whatever is coming, let it come into your awareness field. Let it just disidentify yourself from it. Drop every ambition that you have. Drop all the goals. Drop your future. Drop your past. Drop the whole world. Forget about coronavirus. Forget about your wife, your husband, your children, and your relatives, family members. Forget everything. Now, in meditation, it is doing nothing and being nobody. Let us embrace that beautiful awareness of you, which can recognize this great silence which is growing. This silence which is really a beautiful experience. It is of a different nature. This silence is not void. This silence is not your emptiness. It's not because you are empty of love. The silence is coming out of your pure being state, pure awareness. Just embrace this beautiful emptiness. It's a divine emptiness. At this point of time, in this divine emptiness, divine silence, go on observing. Sometimes these old conditioning layers will come back. Whatever that attention, lack of attention, void of love, void of freedom, void of self-worth, void of approval, appreciation. You want to be successful, you want to be number one, you want to be an achiever, you want to so many things, so many desires. Just these are outer conditioning layers. You just dissolve it in this great emptiness that you have found within you. Just become nobody. You don't need anybody's acknowledgement, anybody's recognition, anybody to look at you also. You don't want anyone to recognize you. Right this moment, you just become nobody. Embrace now this great silence that is coming. This is the golden silence. We call that as the womb, the golden womb. Hiranyagarbha. Hiranyagarbha means a golden womb. Womb is an empty space. It's a silence only. Just embrace this beautiful silence. From this silence, from this womb of silence, cave of silence, from your own inner silence, there's something that will be emerging on its own, spontaneously. Something that rises as an insight or a wisdom or a beautiful fragrance that comes out from this great silence, the great cave of silence, Hiranyagarbha. I'd like you to remain in this space of silence, watch and observe. And your awareness can expand beyond. Your consciousness is non-linear and non-local. Know that you are vast and expansive being. You are limited by your thoughts. You're limited by your beliefs that you have framed. You have limited yourself because of your personality ego structure. Now in this great silence, realize that you are a vast, expansive being. As you become nobody, as you become nothing, as you do nothing, everything is done. You achieve everything. And as you become nobody, you become everything. You really become the whole universe itself. You are that unbounded, unlimited, vast consciousness which has no limitations. In this state, just look at your life, bring your awareness to look at your current life, how you led your life from childhood to so far, how you started having this kind of ambition, expectations, running, chasing, searching outside, appointments, disappointments, satisfaction, dissatisfaction. Look at your life now. Your awareness can capture what kind of life you have led so far, how you became, how you try to be somebody, how you try to achieve many things, how you are trying to prove your worth, how you're trying to achieve and recognition, how you want to capture others' attention from your success. You want to succeed because you want recognition. Look at your life. Let your awareness really bring all those realizations to you. Something that can wonderfully happen as you bring these beautiful realizations about your own life. You can say to yourself in your heart, I lived my life so far in this way where I was searching for the love in the outside world, love in the workplace. I was searching for self-worth. To gain self-worth, I became workaholic. In your heart, you can say that I was seeking approval from all the people. I'm trying to be perfect in order to be accepted by the society and people. So far, I lived this way. Now in your heart center, you can look at a deeper realization that can come to you in this present moment when you are utterly empty and silent and you are in the vast, limitless, expansive state. You just realize that you can live your life effortlessly. You can do things without doing. You can achieve everything by not achieving. You can be without being. You can be anything without being. Just say to yourself, because I am already that which I am searching for. I am this eternal speck of ECW, energy, consciousness, wisdom. I am and this God enclosed in this flesh body. I'm letting go now of all the old layers of my conditioning. And see yourself that all the dark clouds completely dispersing, completely gone. There's a beautiful sunshine from within you, the radiance coming from within you. 2 more minutes, my dear friends. The last 2 minutes. Give all the attention to the deeper realizations that you can get now. Wu Wei, the art of doing without doing. Last 1 minute, my dear friends. Okay, my dear friends, whenever you are ready, placing your hands on your eyes, touching your eyelids, and you can slowly and slowly open your eyes and come into a waking state of consciousness. You can slowly open your eyes. Wonderful friends, warm welcome to you. And there are a few friends who started sharing. Dr. Jayesh Shah from Mumbai. Dr. Jayesh Shahji, thank you for your presence. Great insight in this concept of mind, relationship, ego, and talk fasting. These are practical and instantly transforming tools. Immediately, love starts flowing just thinking of these tools. Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you. Gratitude to you. And here, Master Smita Vankadeji from Nashik saying that to stop being people pleaser, it made me increase my self-esteem. Thank you. Yes, these are very simple tools. When we really realize about that and suddenly there is a shift, we really go to the very essence in us that is present in us. Thank you, Smita ji. And Mariana from, I think, Spain, she's saying that this is so fantastic to know the process, how this vision came to life. And I wonder and look forward to see how different life can be if having a QLU in everyone's life, especially since little kids. Yes, that's true, Mariana ji. Thank you for, because at very younger age, these seeds of wisdom need to be sown. Means this wisdom need to be offered at a very younger age to the children. Thank you for sharing. And One more feedback. I was always a doer. Lataji was saying this. Now I feel so happy to see the new way of approach. Yes, yes, Lataji, a new way of approach is doing without doing. At this point of time, I can tell you about this, which can really help you. There are three types of work. We need to work, definitely. One is called hard work. When we believe that I need to find my self-worth through my work, my love and appreciation, recognition from the work, we exert so much pressure. We do a lot of hard work. We get so tired and exhausted. And there are people who does smart work. There are smart work people. For example, 18 hours work, you can do only just 2 hours work because you have realized the power of your mind or power of meditation. And there is another stage which is called Wu Wei, doing without doing, action without action. This will take you to a new level, dear friends, completely new level. Doing without doing. This is called no work state. You do work, but it's not tiring you. I work hard. Work hard means I really work for 18 hours, but for me it's not work. I teach. For me it's not teaching at all. It's like my whole self is there. And remember these three words: hard work, smart work, and no work. No work means doing nothing, but still you achieve everything. You become a successful person in the world. You achieve everything. For example, you become very successful. Success comes to you now. You don't need to run after success. You don't need to run after money. Money comes to you. This is called a completely different new approach. So, dear friends, we can live in a very different way. And here Anilji is sharing. At times when you don't feel anything, reach a state of no existence, you don't know what happened during the time. One is out of time and space. It's like a deep sleep state. What is it, sir? It's very good. Sometimes we enter into what is called Sushupti state. Sushupti means completely a deep recharging state where you go beyond time state. You don't have any awareness in that moment. But when you come back, you become aware that you enter into non-awareness state. But it recharges you. It makes you feel so fresh, relaxed, healed. Sometimes in meditation, deep yoga nidra state we reach. In that yoga nidra state also, we are actually entering into that space of where we are going beyond time and space and we are not aware. But there is a different state of consciousness that many meditators achieve because effortless effort. This is called Turiya state. Turiya means you are aware of all the three states, means waking state, your sleep state, means dream state, you are aware of Sushupti state, means deep unconscious state. But this awareness that you are a watcher of everything, this is called Turiya. That one can, through practice of meditation, one can achieve. Thank you, Anilji, for sharing about it. And thank you, dear friends, for your participation today. One more feedback related with my childhood and myself today in a very novel way. Thanks to Dr. Garu. Thank you, Parag Kandelwalaji. Thank you. Most welcome for sharing your feedback. So, Rajsekhar can now, yeah, so can you just share your message to all the friends, to everyone?
Friends, welcome back again, and thank you so much for this process. And I know this is something that you have been teaching all through. And it is one of the things that I could really relate to from the early stages of our interaction and from the time that I've ever met you first. Because what really inspired me was how you were able to do so many different things within the same. We all have the same amount of time, the same 24 hours, and how you could accomplish so much. And then, of course, I used to also talk to you about it, and you shared many of these insights to me. And I'm very fortunate that you have shared these insights to me in the early stages of our interaction, and therefore I could apply many of this in my own journey. So one of the things that I really want to share about some points where I can tell you which have been the highlights. One is trying to be as multidimensional as possible. Like you were talking about, I do this. I'm also working on reading something, and I'm preparing for the classes. I'm working on different projects, writing books. All those works, how you're able to do together. So in my own way, I started implementing this. Otherwise, I used to be very single-minded in my focus and approach of doing work. And then I started adding a lot more things into my life. And what I really understood was I can really relate to that one statement that you made, that for me, I have retired long back. So friends, I think it's time that everyone should retire, but we should not be tired. So I say that I'm retired, but not tired. Because the moment you're tired, that's the end of life. You should never be in that state of tiredness. And the thing that really brings you up from any state, low state, to a really high state is the meditation. When you're regularly practicing meditation, you can never be really tired in life. And you can really retire and do all the things. The second thing that I really understood and I've been practicing is the love for what you do. If you really, really love what you do, it is no longer classified as work. So that's why when someone says that I have reached to a stage where I don't work anymore, but so many things get done in my life and everything that I really need happens in my life, like you, Dr. Newton, for instance. It is because you love everything that you do completely, 100%. You have that total love for what you do. And when you really love everything so much, then it's no longer work. And that's when we really get into that stage of effortless effort. So friends, my real message to you would be to just follow all what Dr. Newton has explained to you about work, hard work. You move from hard work to smart work and from smart work to no work. But you can't do this unless you really, really love everything that you are involved with in life. If anything feels like it's a burden to you and then you start feeling tired when you do something, it means that you're not really loving it enough. So if you start beginning to love it, then automatically you get to that stage where it becomes no work for you. That's all, friends. I think these are the two important points that I would like to share. And yes, one more thing is that I've also practiced this 80-20 principle a lot. I really believe in this 80-20 principle, which talks about 80% of the outcomes, the effects that happen in your life, come from only 20% of the causes. So it means that if you really want to be more and more productive in life, then you just break up all the work that you do, the different dimensions of activities that are there in your life. Begin to love everything and just give focused attention for just a short period of time during the day on each of these activities, and you will find that everything will get done. And the overall thing will get done in the fashion that we have been listening to Dr. Newton the whole day, this whole evening, and it's about effortless effort. With total effortless effort, everything will get done. So these are just a few points that I would like to share from my personal experiences, from what I've learned from Dr. Newton from the beginning of my interaction, from what I've tried to practice in my own life, and what I've seen practical results coming in my own life. Thank you, friends, and thank you for the opportunity to be with you and share my own experiences with you. And thank you, Dr. Newton, for choosing me to be
it's wonderful, wonderful
to interact today here.
Yes, yes, so wonderful. Dear friends, if you want to write to us, there's email. You have queries, you have something to share with us through website, you can send info@qluglobal.org is the email, and you find the website here on the slide, and also phone numbers. If you want to contact someone, our team members, speak to them, clarify your doubts. And also we have today launched our QLU Global YouTube channel in English exclusively. That's why I highly recommend everyone to subscribe. You just click on the subscribe button so that at least 1,000 people joins. We get the status of what is called as, we can show it as QLU Global channel. So because we want exclusive English language channel, so that there will not be much confusion about it. Please subscribe for our YouTube channel. Right now, many Facebook viewers, and also from YouTube, QLU Global, and also from PMC Global, PMC channel also, the many from North India, they're watching, from abroad, from many people from Canada, from Spain, and many of our friends are watching. Please, all of you, click on the subscribe button.